Welcome to the Purl Up Dye Podcast. My name is Jade. I'm going to be your host for the next little bit. You can find me around on Ravelry as Creations on a Whim. You can find me on Instagram as Little Prairie Pearl, or my shop that I own with my sister is Midnight Cravings. Where else? Etsy, I have a little shop called Little Prairie Pearl, so it's littleprairiepearl.etsy.com. Or again, my shop that I have with my sister is midnightcravings.etsy.com. So if you are a new viewer, welcome. This is a knitting podcast. This one is heavily going to focus on my recent trip to Knit City that I took with my sister and a friend. I also have a lot of FOs, which is amazing. So this is episode 15. My last one was I think it was 2 months ago. It was middle of summer, which I apologize for any of you who are waiting, but life, it gets in the way sometimes of all the best laid plans, right? So I was definitely planning on doing an update, like an updated podcast before we went to Knit City and just explain what we were hoping to do, but that didn't happen. So we've returned, and this is going to be a one-packed episode, I think. I may have to split it into two depending on how fast I can talk. But yeah, so let's just jump right in. Today I have some whips and FOs, so I guess I'll start with those and then I can bore you later with, if you don't care to hear about Knit City and all my acquisitions. I got a few. Oops. But anyways, so FOs. I've got a few sitting in front of me. So last time on the podcast I was talking about the Bankhead Hat by Susie Gorley, I believe. Let me look at this information up. I have notes because I'm never going to remember everything I need to say today. Okay, here it is. FOs. Bankhead. Yes, Bankhead Hat. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Uses worsted weight yarn. And anyways, if you remember, I put it on and I had strings everywhere. So I only had like the brim. But now it is done. And it is awesome. And I really, really like it. So it was a really fast knit. I really like this big long brim. It's like 3 inches. I did it in a 1x1 twisted rib. Whenever the pattern calls for a 1x1 rib, I always twist. There's pretty much no exception. It just keeps those, if you can see, it keeps the ribbing really nice and tight. And you don't get that flaring, like the knit stitches sometimes want to like flare apart because the purl stitches are pulling on them. I don't like that. So there's this, and I will put it on, and I won't have strings hanging everywhere. But yeah, so it's just this nice little beanie. So I mean, you could pull it down. It's a little bit too big for me to do that, but I got a lot of hair right here. So anyways, it would take me a while to, oh goodness. You know what? I just quit. Maybe I shouldn't put, which way does my hair go? Like this. I should put hats on the podcast. Okay. That was not ladylike. And I have another one. So let's just get that over with. So that was that one. I would really recommend that pattern. I really enjoyed it. The yarn that I used was some Midnight Cravings. It's our new worsted base. It's called Hardy Worsted. So it's a really nice plump worsted weight yarn. It's kind of close to an Aran weight, but it's awesome. It feels really soft and squishy. So it's making all the things with our worsted right now. This one, number 2 hat, is called the Point This Way hat. It's also a beanie. And I knit this one from our yarn as well, and it's called the Take a Hike colorway. So it's like browns and tonals and speckled, and it's got some green in there. It's an awesome colorway. And it is from Anne Miner, is the designer of this pattern. And I don't remember now if it was free or not, but you can find it. Any of the information, if you're wanting to know about needle sizes and that whatnot, that's all in my project notes on Ravelry. So Creations on a Whim Ravelry page. I keep notes on pretty much every project that I cast on, just because my memory is horrible. I can't even remember what this was. So this one's kind of neat because the way that the brim is, you can see it rolls. It starts with a stockinette and then it switches. So you get this little bit of a rolled brim. And then this one is also nice and slouchy. I don't normally wear a slouchy hat, but I don't look good in a toque either. So, and for all of you who aren't Canadian, a toque is a beanie. But yeah, so I just slouch it down at the back, and then it's not so obnoxious. But yeah, I like this one. I might steal it for myself. It was going to be for my husband, but oh, I just finished one and I forgot to bring it maybe. Oh no, I probably did bring it. Maybe it's in my bag. I've got so much stuff today, you guys. You have no idea. So, that was hat number 2. Also, another shop sample because that's just the way my life has been going lately. I knit a flax light sweater. And this is a 6 to 12 month size, I believe. I may have done it too loose, like, so it may be bigger than that. I don't remember now. It's been a long time since my babies were babies. But yeah, so I knit this one, which I love. It's like I knit it as pattern as it was required, written. So I did the garter stitch panel down the side of the arms. Super cute. This colorway was Take a Hike, also from our shop. So really like that. So I mean, I've kind of, I apologize. A lot of my projects are Midnight Cravings today, just because this last 2 months we've been prepping for a show that we were going to do. So it's over, and I'll talk about that as well. But I really needed to get some samples knit up. So pretty much all of my all my projects are sample knits. But yeah, that's that one. So that was FO number 3. Flags this way, Bankhead point this way, a Glen Abbey hat. I'm going to have to check and see if I have brought it with me. Oh my goodness, my bag weighs like a ton. No, I didn't bring those 2 hats. I didn't bring, oh, but I did bring. So I made my husband, I'll insert a picture. I made it out of our yarn again. Really liked that hat. I was going to make it for me, and I just didn't like how it looked on me that much. It looks way better on my husband, so he gets another hat. So that means I can steal this one, which I made for him, but I like it. So I'm going to keep that one for me, and he's going to get the one that I was making for myself. Go figure. Another one that I cast on, this was not a sample knit. It was actually one I made for my daughter, and she had requested blue yarn. Her favorite color is blue. So I thought, you know what, I dyed her up some. It was a colorway that we have in our shop now. I gave her a choice of some of the colors, and she picked this one. So I was doing a test knit for Anne Hansen. I'll put her information down below. You can look her up, pattern up. But this one was called the Mini Milestone. It's based on she has a Milestone Sweater, I think. I think it's an adult version. And then this was the mini one because a lot of people liked it and they wanted a small version. So this is it here. So it's just a short sleeve. It was bottom up raglan style, which I'd never done before. And this was like I said, it was a test knit. So there was a lot of errors in the pattern, which have now been fixed. But I struggled a lot knitting this one knot. You know what? And I was halfway up the body and I realized I muddled up the cables and I had to rip them out. So I was really choked about that. That wasn't her fault. That was mine. I printed out my pattern and then we took off to go on road trip, and I forgot the pattern behind. So I was looking at my phone, which was the chart was this big, and I missed that you were supposed to turn the cable the other way. So the middle cable here, it does an S. And mine was just doing the classic right leaning and left leaning instead of this nice swirly pattern. So I had to rip it back when I was about halfway through. So the test was due on Monday and I finished it on Wednesday and she released it on Friday. So I was really panicking to get it done. But yeah, it was interesting construction, being that it was top up or bottom up, sorry. Because this was easy up to here, and then you put all the body on hold. You knit the sleeves, so the little, only to here basically, a couple of inches of sleeve, and then you knit the other one a couple of inches, and then you put them all on a needle, and then you start knitting around and doing your decreases and stuff. I found that kind of challenging to figure out. I put the sleeves on backwards the first time, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is confusing. And then I had to Kitchener stitch, close the armpit, which looks awful. I'm not a very accomplished finisher. So it's a little bit, it leaves a little bit to be desired right there. But you know what? It's under her arm. She doesn't even notice it. So whatever. If people are going to judge me over my KitchenAid underarm stitches, well, they're no friend of mine. No judging. So there was this one, and I love it. My little daughter, she's so cute. As it was still wet when I had her the pictures taken, because I just needed to get it done. And you know, being a test knit, I had to have a deadline, and it was crazy. And so it was still damp, like quite damp, and I threw it on her, and we went outside and took pictures. And she loved it so much she didn't even bother taking it off. So she finished. It's perfect. It fits her perfectly because she finished blocking. It was body blocked. So, but yeah, those are my finished objects. Look at that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I have one more. Yay. I don't know where it is. I brought it. Oh shoot, I probably left it behind. Oh, left it on the other side of my laptop, which means I'm gonna have to get up. So just one sec. Alrighty, back again. So you guys have been on this journey with me for a long time. I started this in January and I finally finished it. I'm finally, you know what this is? I am finally done. My girl from the grocery store. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad this thing is off my needles. It is massive. I mean, it's really long, but it's not overly deep. It's a nice shawl. I do like it. I have a problem. I don't know if any of the rest of you do. I have a problem. I'm very unenamored with my knits when I'm done. I love doing them. As soon as they come off my needles, I'm like, eh, like whatever. I have never really had a project that I'm just like completely over the top in love with it when it's come off my needles. I think it's just kind of I'm so over it by the time it's off my needles, because once they've sat in my closet for a while, I love them again. My 3 color cashmere shawls, I was kind of like disappointed with them, and now I love them. I wear them, well, no, I wouldn't say all the time because it was summer and I don't wear them as often as I should, but when I do wear them, I do love them. I wore them both actually at Knit City, and yeah, they were awesome. I wore them all day. They were perfect. So I think this one will be too. It's just, it took me over 6 months to knit it, and I was kind of done. But, and I'm going to try a different shape. This is an asymmetrical triangle, which is good, and I like it. But it's just a lot of the same shape I've been knitting, so I need to go outside my normal zone there and do something different. But now it's backwards. Anyways, yeah. So there's that. And I really like it, and I'm very happy it's off my needles. It's around my shoulders. It came with us to our show, and it got lots of good attention. So I was able to tell people, you know, where to get the pattern and stuff like that. So that was really good. But yeah, and I really love this. I did the bind off with a different color, and I also incorporated it here with one stripe. So this is Twilight, the blue is Twilight, the pink or the peach is Bellini Fizz, and then this is Girl Next Door, which was named for the girl from the grocery store. I mean, this colorway was dyed because I wanted to knit this shawl, and then that's where that one came from, and it's one of our most popular colors in our shop. So it's the Girl Next Door, so which I love. It's got blue, like navy blue, and it's got pink, and it's got coral, and it's got gray, and like a bright like a bright sky blue or like a robin egg blue. It's really awesome. Love it. So FO, super happy with this one. And yeah, lots of FOs. And of course, with many FOs comes many new cast-ons. So I have a couple of cast-ons to share. Actually, no, I lied. I only have one to share today because my other one I finished was that Glen Abbey hat that I have forgotten. But like I said, I'll put a picture in probably earlier so you've seen the Glen Abbey hat. But I really like that one too. So right now, the only thing, I mean, I've got tons of whips, but the only new whip that I have to show is a big honking cowl. I decided I wanted a big like double wrap cowl. Winter time is coming. You guys are going to listen to me complain about winter forever. So anyways, this is my newest cast on. I'm not quite halfway through. It's just a big loop. And it's really cool. It's called the Sketch It Cowl, and it is by Amy Pelletier. It was for some sort of those things where you hop from yarn store to yarn store. I can't remember what those are called. If I remember, I'm sure some of you are like, oh, it's called a this, but I can't remember. A yarn hop? I don't know. Anyways, I've never been on one, so. But anyway, so it's got like some seed stitch happening here, and then it's got some garter over. I can't really like turn it and show you guys very well because it's on needles and I don't want to lose my stitches. Then it's got garter, and then it's got some sort of broken rib, and I really like this part. Oh, garter, no broken ribs over there. Oh my goodness, what a nightmare. I'm sorry, guys. But look up the pattern. That'll give you a better idea. But it's got, yeah, there's a broken rib. And then there's this like zigzaggy pattern, which is really awesome. Yeah, seed stitch, garter, a zigzag pattern, a broken rib. Oh, and then it's got this eyelet section, which you cannot see. Where did the eyelet section go? Right here. But yeah, so it's cool. It's got like these 5 sections, and you just, you know, keep going in a circle. Very easy to memorize. I cast it on because I wanted something easy to knit on the plane when we were flying, and something easy to knit while I was talking with people at Knit City. And it was the perfect thing because it was just, it switches often enough to keep it interesting, but not often, and you know, not confusingly. You didn't have to worry about what are you doing now. The 4 of the 5 sections are a 2-row repeat, so it's like really brainless. The zigzag one is an 8-row repeat, but it's pretty obvious what you're doing after like the first repeat. You kind of figure it out and you can read your knitting, and it's awesome. So I recommend that pattern. It's awesome because it's only going to take 400, it says 430 yards, so I'm just going to knit until I run out because my yarn is about 425. The yarn I'm using is my own hand dyed. It was an experiment that I absolutely love how it turned out. And so we have this in the shop. It's called Unsupervised. So that one is lots of fun. It was just crazy speckles. So Tara went away for the afternoon. She gave me a dye list, which I ignored, and made this. So Unsupervised is why it's called that. Because I'm like, Tara can't leave me alone apparently because I just do my own thing. Sorry, Tara. Speaking of Tara, if you hear any like beeping or water or anything, she's just right down below, kind of, I'm right next to an open stairwell, so I hope it's not too echoey. But I'm at Tara's house again today, and she's downstairs in our dye studio dyeing yarn, and I'm up here playing. I dyed yarn this morning, so we don't dye together. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but we totally don't because we distract each other so badly that we literally get nothing done. So I'll dye one day, she'll dye another day. Today I dyed in the morning, she dyes in the afternoon. So just, yeah, it's just easier that way. Sorry, checking my show notes. Turning off my sound because I heard my friend. So yeah, so that's whips and FOs. I guess I'll get into Knit City talk. I'm really excited. So for any of you who are not from Canada, or you know, aren't familiar, maybe you are from Canada but you're not familiar with what Knit City is. It is a once a year, I don't even know what I was telling friends who don't knit. I says it's Yarn Con. That's basically what it is. It's a giant marketplace. It's in Vancouver every year. It was at the PNE Forum, which is this huge complex. So they have the marketplace in this big honking arena. And it was, I don't know how many vendors there this year. I didn't take a count, but it was a lot. And they said it was the biggest one they've ever had, which I can see why. It was quite large and busy and crazy. But yeah, we wanted to go this year because we've never been. Last year, we were so jealous of everybody who got to go, watching people's podcasts pop up and their photos on Instagram. And we're like, okay, this year we're going. And so we booked our tickets back in August or something. I can't remember exactly when we booked them, but it was a while back. And yeah, we were so excited. So we flew out of here on Thursday. It was Thursday, the 29th or something of September. And we stopped and grabbed a friend. We went to Knit 2 Yarns in Kamloops, saw Carla. And that was always nice. And we'd been bugging her. We're like, please come. And she's like, no, I'm not going to. And then she decided she was. So we got to see her at Knit City too. So that was really awesome. Hi, Carla. And yeah, so we did that. We just hung out with Kim, a friend of ours. Tara, I had mentioned to you guys before, Tara has a crochet design business that she has with Kim. And so that's the Kim that we met. There's a lot of Kims on this trip, I'm telling you. It gets very confusing very quickly. So Kim, our friend, we went with her. We road tripped to Vancouver the next day, so on Friday. And it took us forever to get there. It's a 4-hour trip, and it took us like 7 hours. But we decided, oh, we're going to go. It was too late in the day, and we wanted to see where Black Cat Custom Yarns was because we have our yarn in that shop. And so we knew that Kim, see, this is where it starts getting confusing. Kim from Black Cat Custom Yarns, she had a booth at Knit City. So we knew she wasn't going to be there, but we were just going to like take our picture in front of the door and be totally nerdy. But we got lost. We're not familiar with Chilliwack. We're not familiar with Vancouver or Langley or Abbotsford or any of these places that all just like blend together. So we had no idea where we're going. GPS had us on a wild goose chase. So we never made it to Black Cat Custom Yarn, but we got lost in Chilliwack for about an hour and a half. So that was kind of interesting, but whatever, it's all good. And then we decided, okay, we're going to head into Vancouver. But at this point, we were starting to get into rush hour. So it took forever. And then finally we were hitting, I think it was Vancouver. Is that where 88 Stitches is? Anyways, we wanted to go to 88 Stitches. That's all good. Again, totally turned around and lost. Our GPS was saying, turn right. Well, you can't turn right there. There's a meridian. So you have to go up. And then she's freaking out. She was trying to recalculate. And we were just getting frustrated. So long story short, we didn't get to 88 Stitches. Or Black Cat Custom Yarns. We decided to go to where we were renting, which we were just getting like an Airbnb. And so, sorry, I'm just going to have to take a drink because I'm thirsty. Sorry, I'm a slurper. I apologize if you heard that. My bad. Okay, so yes, the goal was to hit Black Cat Custom Yarns and 88 Stitches. Missed them both. So we went to our Airbnb and got all settled in there. It was this beautiful little basement suite. We were really excited and happy with where we were. We were only about 20 minutes away from where the P&E was, like with traffic. So we were fairly close by. So we decided, you know what? Let's head down and check it all out. And you know, you can't get in anyways because, I mean, we're not part of the setting up cruise or anything like that. But that was fine. We just wanted to go look because I said, you know what? It's going to be busy. There's going to be people milling about, checking it out, you know, general happy excitement. And then we'll just go get some supper close by. So we decided that would be fun. So we went there and we walked around and yes, like I thought, there was quite a few people milling around. They were wearing knitwear, so we knew that they were going to be at Knit City. And then we decided to go over to the Press Box, which is like a little pub attached to the Atrium Hotel, which a lot of people were staying at because it's like right beside the P&E. Yeah, so that was kind of cool because when we were walking across the street from the P&E to the Atrium, it was like blinding and we could hardly see across the sidewalk. And all of a sudden there's like this tall man right in front of us. And we're like, oh my goodness, it's Stephen West. So we met Stephen West on the crosswalk. We had no more time than to say, oh, hi, it's nice to meet you, and then keep running. So I didn't get pictures or anything like that, but we met Stephen West. He was very pleasant. He had a big smile on his face. He seemed, I think he was expecting us to fangirl him, so he was kind of getting his game face on, and then I think we kind of surprised him when we just said hello and kept walking. But and what do you do? It's like Vancouver downtown on the sidewalk or on the crosswalk. It's not like you can, oh my goodness. So met Stephen West. He was seemed very nice. He was on his way to his lecture on Friday night. So yeah, he didn't have any time to chat anyway. So that was kind of our first taste of Knit City, and we were already pretty excited. So we went to the press box. It was crazy busy in there, but you could see it was clearing out because a lot of the people that were there were going to his lecture. So it cleared out pretty much within, maybe it was just us. We cleared the room. I don't know. Anyways, we sat down at a table and we chatting and visiting just amongst the three of us, and we saw a lady sitting behind us all by herself at a table that had fit about 20 people, and she was all alone. So Kim went over to talk to her, and she found out that all her friends had tickets to the lecture and she was left behind. She didn't have a ticket. So we said, oh, come sit with us. So that's how we met Margaret Law. She's a complete sweetheart. She's from Scotland originally, so we quite enjoyed her accent. And I mean, she maybe doesn't think she still has one, but she does. Anyways, it doesn't matter. She lives in Canada now, but that's where she was from originally, and she was just a sweetheart. We enjoyed her quite a lot. And it's like, what other place can you go and just walk up to a random person who happens to be knitting and say, come join us? And they do. So and then, yeah, 2 other people came in and they looked kind of lost. So we said, we've got 2 extra seats. So they sat. So that was Mary and Jana. They were from Washington. So we hung out with them for about 3 hours or so until the lecture was over. And then people started and then it was karaoke night and it started getting busy in there. So we decided we were just going to split, and it was about 9:30 or so. And yeah, we wanted to get back. We were getting pretty tired because Tara and I had flown already that day, and it just takes, I guess we hadn't flown that day. We flew the day before. But anyways, it was a big day traveling. All that. So we decided to go back, get a good night's sleep, because Knit City day 1 was the next day. So we got to Knit City on Saturday. That was the open marketplace at about 10:30 in the morning, and it was, holy cow, it was packed in there. And yeah, first stop we went to was a Valley Yarns booth. There were some things that we wanted to pick up. I wonder if I should just show acquisitions as I go. Maybe it's easier. So anyways, we wanted to go to Valley Yarns because there was a thing there that we all wanted. It was a wrist ruler. So you guys if you've been seeing my wrist at all, and it won't because my face is here. Anyways, it's like a long leather cord. It's a double wrap bracelet, and it's got ruler measurements on it, so centimeters and inches. So it's awesome. I use it all the time. I haven't really taken it off since I bought it, and it's come off for sleeping, showering, and when I need to measure something, which is actually quite often. So it just double wraps around your wrist like that. It's dark black, or it's dark brown, like a deep chocolate, like a dark chocolate brown. I love it so much. So Tara got the same color, and so did Kim. So we all have the same bracelet, but yeah, loved it. So we went to Valley Yarns first, their booth. And while I was in there, I ran into Fairy Little. She has a podcast. So we chatted with her for a couple minutes while we were standing in line. She's a real sweetheart. Yeah, so that was really nice to see her. And then also while we were in there, we met Jade, who is a Stitch Mischief. If you don't follow her on Instagram, go do that. She's got beautiful photos. She's beautiful dyed yarn. She's a quilter. And her sweet, adorable baby she had with her, he's about 7 months old. His name is Atticus. Oh, he was so cute. So she was like juggling yarn and juggling baby and juggling a bunch of things, and she was trying to pay, and I said, hi, and waved at her, and she said, take a baby. Okay. Happy to do that. He was so sweet. So he's drooling. Aw, he was just adorable. He must be getting teeth, but so cute. Oh my goodness. Heavy. He is a boy. Like, he's cute. I forget how heavy babies get when you're carrying them. I was like, oh my goodness. My babies were heavy too, but it's been a long time since I've had them, so you forget that until all of a sudden you've got one in your arms again and you realize, whoa, they're small, but they're heavy. So anyways, that was really fun. I've been friends with her for a while, but only through Instagram. We've never met in person. So that was really fun to finally get a chance to talk. And I mean, it was really quick because we only had a chance to talk for a couple minutes because it was just insane in the booth. So we tried to get out and people are trying to go past them, like, I'll catch you later and we'll get together. But I never did see her again that day. So that was disappointing. So sorry, Jade, I didn't get to see you and talk to you more, but it was really lovely to meet you and your baby. Yeah, maybe next time I'll meet some more of your family. And then while we were walking, we ran into Leona from Blue Merlin Makes. I will link her information. She makes the most adorable mermaids. They're made out of felt and they've got these cute little safety button eyes, and she uses for their hair, she uses yarn. So she's used some of our yarn before, so that's why she wanted to make sure she found us, and I was really glad she did because I wouldn't have known who she was necessarily because she doesn't take selfies. So, I mean, I'm at an unfair advantage a lot of times because I don't know what you guys look like. You know what I look like. So, yeah, it was really nice that she saw me and she stopped in me and said hello and we got a picture and everything. And it was really nice to meet you. So I hope that we run into you again next time. I stopped at a booth, many booths, so many, but the one I made a beeline for as well was Megan Nodecker. She's Pip and Pin. She and her sister Katie had a booth, and I had a bag put on hold for myself because I'm greedy. So I pre-bought it before. Well, not pre-bought it. I pre-ordered it, and because she was showing them on her podcast, and I'm like, oh my goodness, if I don't get one of these, I'm going to be very sad because look how beautiful it is. It is like this deep olive green with black lacy rose pattern, and oh, it's just gorgeous. It's got this long black handle. It's like a twill handle, nice zipper. It's got a nice gusseted bottom, so it's actually quite large on the inside. But it's it's a smallish bag. It's a perfect sock bag. So like a one skein project, and it's black on the inside. And yeah, it's beautiful. When she showed them, I was like, okay, I need one of those. Just take my money. So I ran over to meet Megan, and that was really fun because I've test knit for Megan before, and I really enjoy talking to her on Instagram and tagging, and she's bought yarn from us and stuff. So, I mean, she's just as sweet in person as she is on her podcast and as she seems online. So that's really exciting. So yeah, and we did a little bit of an exchange, or not an exchange so much. I gave her yarn. I was like, have the yarn. So she's going to be hopefully designing something in the future. Don't know when, and it's no rush or anything, but yeah, she's got each of our bases, and she's going to be swatching and playing soon. So that'll be exciting. So we'll let you know when that is a go. And yeah, I'm excited because I love her things. She makes the most beautiful garments. She says that she designs items that she herself wants to wear, and I find that her aesthetic is very much like mine. So, and also our body shapes are similar, not exactly the same. I'm a little bit more bottom heavy, and just everybody's body is different, but I think that her designs will work well for my body type as well. So yeah, I love her stuff. And she had this most gorgeous like the most gorgeous sweater that she's released a couple of weeks ago, and then she had it hanging there, and it's even more stunning in person. I'm like, I need to knit that. I don't know when I'll ever be able to tackle it's like mid-thigh. I mean, you can make a shorter version. She has a shorter version, but I really like that version. So I don't know. It would be an amazing sweater to wear in Saskatchewan. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. And then she had her It Cowl there, or shawl. Totally missed that. It's like I would have got like a preview, sneak peek before she even released the pattern. So I don't know. Missed it completely. Don't know how I did that. And then who else? Oh, we went over to Holly Yo's booth, which had Barb and Cynthia from River City Yarns. So we went over there and I said hello and gave them a hug because we've been chatting with them a little while on Instagram and stuff. And they said, make sure you stop by and say hello. So we did. We had a great chat with them. Absolutely love meeting Barb and Cynthia. I've never made it to River City Yarns, but next time I go to Edmonton, I definitely will be stopping in there. Yeah, got to go on their podcast. No, I don't even think it was on their podcast. It was like they were doing Instagram Live, so I was on there for a minute. That was really cool. I got to introduce myself, who I was, and then Tara and Kim talked to them for a while. So yeah, it was fun. They're sweethearts. Oh my goodness, just amazing. And then we ran into Jody and Tracy of the Grocery Girls. So they need no introduction. They're super hilarious ladies. It just happened to be close to lunchtime and the marketplace was quieting down. So Tracy was making a beeline for outside to the food trucks or to find something to eat and just kind of have a breather, I guess, because I mean, it was pretty overwhelming inside. So I think they were, just getting some fresh air and getting ready for the afternoon crowd and everything. So ran into Tracy. I said hello and she actually knew who I was, which was amazing. She's like, oh, hi, she knew my name because I says, you don't know, she sees thousands of people a year, I'm sure. And I'm like, you don't know who I am. And she's like, oh, of course I do, Jaden. And so that was really cool because I was like, oh my goodness, a little bit fangirling going on. Not too much. I kept it pretty low key. But yeah, it was really nice to meet her and Jody as well. And then we were talking outside with them and Ava, who is Alicia of Yarn Inc. Her daughter was there, so we were chatting with her, and she's dyed up some little mini skeins and for the show to sell with her mom, and she was adorable, just the sweetest little thing. She's the same age as my little girl, who's also Ava, and they're both 9, so that was pretty cute. But yeah, she was kind of a highlight too. It was Ava. She was sweet. She just seemed to be totally basking in the glory of people loving her yarns and stuff. So cute. Yeah, so then after lunch, we kind of went through the market a little bit more. Before lunch, I didn't even make it past the first 5 booths, I swear. It was that busy. And we just kept running into people that we recognized or recognized us, or they would stop us and say, oh, are you Midnight Cravings? And I'm like, how do you even know that? Really? It's like, we're just this little itty bitty shop, but people seem to know who we were. So go figure. But that was really fun. We had so much fun meeting people. And I don't know, if you've never been to Knit City before, it's really hard to describe the atmosphere. It's very fun and very inviting, even though it's busy. You can stop anyone and say, I love what you're wearing. And they'll like, oh, thank you. And they'll show you and they'll tell you what it was. So I happened to be walking past a lady and I was like, what she was wearing was stunning. I love the color. I love the look of it on her. And I just said, what is that? And I can't remember now, but her name was Jahina, and she's from Vancouver, and I'd never met her before. She was so lovely. We'd had a good chat for about 10-15 minutes, just standing there talking about knitting. I've never met her before, don't know. And then we ran into her again later on the day, and we sat with her for a while and had a coffee, or, just kind of chilled at the end of the day. But anyways, we met her, so she was really sweet. So in the afternoon, I made sure to go find some other places. We went to the Knox Mountain Yarn Co. booth. Knox Mountain Yarn? Knox Mountain Knit Co. Sorry, totally got it wrong. I met Sasha and Nevada, who's the daughter. She's kind of the model of all the designs. Willow wasn't there right then. We met her the next day, but yes. So we chatted with Sasha and Nevada for a little while. Again, we're friends through Instagram, but never had met in person. So that was really fun. We got pictures and gave hugs and it was amazing. Their booth was sweet and Nevada was lovely. I'm like, she's not a little girl anymore, but if my little girls turn out as nice as Nevada, I will consider myself a parenting win because she was just a beautiful person. So, and as Sasha is, and I'm sure Willow is too. I don't know Willow very much, but Sasha is just a sweetheart. So yeah, that was fun. Yeah, and then like I said, I met Jahina, and then in the afternoon we were sitting and we met a lady named Donna. She's a follower of ours, and she was lovely too. she was wearing, I can't remember what she was wearing, but it was this beautiful bright cowl, and it was just, or a shawl wrapped around, and it was just gorgeous. Everybody, the hand knits there, you wouldn't even believe. I ended up at the very end of the day, we were walking out to our vehicle, and a girl was walking ahead of us, and she had the most gorgeous sweater. I'll try to put a picture in. And before I even stopped myself, I went running up to her, and I said, excuse me, excuse me. I'm like, what is your sweater? And she told me what it was. And again, I'll put the information because I can't remember off the top of my head. But I wanted a picture. And before I could think about how it sounded, I asked her if I could take a picture of her backside. Uh-huh. And the person she was with, I'm not sure if it was her mom or her friend or whoever, but she's like, only at Knit City can you ask that and people won't like slap you. It is so true. I was like completely mortified, but what do you do? Anyway, so yeah, but it was just amazing. We stood all day. I only made it through half the marketplace the first day because you keep running into people that you know from Instagram or online, and some podcast viewers, which was amazing to meet you guys, or people who've bought from Midnight Cravings and they didn't know who we were, but then we would be talking and they would say, oh, do you have a shop or blah, blah, blah. And we say we have Midnight Cravings and their eyes would light up and they'd be like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. Like they knew who we were, even though they didn't know us. They knew our yarn, which was crazy. So it was so much fun. So day one, we were planning on going to both, but I'm very glad that we did because we would have missed half of Knit City. We closed the place out. They announced that the place was closed and we were still talking to people. So it was a lot of fun. And yeah, we got to talk with the girl at Urban Yarns, and we went to the Gage Dye Works, and just so much to see and so many people to visit. It was just, there's just not really any words. If you've never been, it's overwhelming in an amazingly good way. It was so busy in there. So you're standing there with your lunch and there's about 10 tables or something, and they all fit about 8, but there'll only be one spot available. So it's like, you just ask, can I sit here? And everybody clears the stuff and you sit down, and it's like chatting with old friends. You just talk about what you're wearing or where are you from. And it's just amazing. It was the best experience. It was so much fun. So that was Saturday. So Sunday was much quieter in the marketplace, like maybe a third of the crowd. I don't even know. Some people were telling me, some booth owners were saying you do the bulk of your sales on the Saturday and then the Sunday is like a sixth. So it's much quieter that day. So it's a nice day. If you can only make it to one day and you don't really love crowds, I would recommend going the Sunday if you don't care if you're going to miss out on some of the exclusives. But honestly, if you're not there within a very short period of time, you're going to miss the exclusives anyways, because there's thousands of people that show. The lineup on Saturday, okay, so the doors open at 9, the lineup started at 5:15. So unless you're there super crazy early, you weren't going to get the exclusive anyway. So I would totally recommend going on the Sunday if you're not a big person into doing the crowds. So there's a tip for you for next year. Yeah, so the second day we kind of hit the second half of the market. So I ran into Kim, yet another one. I talked to Kim of Black Hat Custom Yarns and her husband, both such nice people. Again, Kim and I are friends through Instagram. We chat quite a bit. I reached out to her a long time ago. We were having some trouble with our yarn, and she was sweet enough to give us some tips, and then we've been chatting since then. And like I said, our yarn is now in her shop. So if you are out in that area and you want to ever see some Midnight Cravings in person, go to the Black Cat Custom Yarn shop. She's got a selection there. Yeah, and then I ran into, at the food truck, I didn't realize it was her, but it was Kim of Gingersnap That. She even asked me what I was eating, and I told her that she ordered the same thing. And it wasn't until later the afternoon I went into her booth that I realized it was her. So that was kind of funny. Didn't realize. Whatever. Sorry, Kim. I should have known it was you, but I didn't. And you didn't realize it was me until I introduced myself, and then all of a sudden, and then it was like we were long lost friends. So that was pretty fun. I went into the flock fiber booth. I got myself some stitch markers. PAPI Yarns was there. I had a really good chat with the ladies of that company, both absolute sweethearts. Yeah, both just super lovely. And ran into Sam of Hand Me My Knitting, gave her a hug. I actually ran into her on Friday night. I forgot to mention that. After the supper at the press box, we ended up walking back to our vehicle, which was in the Peony thing. And so people were coming out of the lecture. So I actually ran into Megan of Pip and Pin, and Sam, Hand Me My Knitting, and Carmen of Owl and Lily, all right on our walk back to the car, and Stephanie Pearl McPhee. And she says, "Hi, knitters." And I went, "Oh my God, it's Stephanie Pearl McPhee." And I forgot to say hello, and I didn't get a picture, and I basically just felt like an idiot afterwards. But I saw her, and she said hello to us. So how fancy. It was really fun. I do regret I missed going into the soft sweater booth. It was just crazy busy in that booth all the time. And the one time it was quiet, I started going over there, and Sylvia, she made a beeline out because I think she was running for food or, bathroom break or something like that. So I didn't get a chance. And then I was going to go in there, but I forgot. So Tin Can Knits was there, forgot to go into their booth. It was like another one of those ones where it was really busy. But I was sad afterwards because I'm like, I could have seen all their samples in person and tried them on and see. Oh well, forgot. You just couldn't do everything. It was crazy. Yeah. So and then I ran into Sam of Hand Me Knitting, and Carmen, Owl and Lily. I'm going to show you some cute things that I got from her. Not her. She delivered them, but they're from her son. Oh my goodness, adorable. Can't wait to show you. And then I was at Holly Yo's booth, and I got a chance to talk to Holly Yo, and she's a designer. She sells a lot of her patterns on Ravelry, and she has some at the River City Yarns. So it was her booth that River City Yarns was helping with, or however that was. But anyways, awesome. I got the chance to talk to her, and it was just one crazy weekend. So if you guys have never been, go next year. Like, book your tickets now because it's amazing. And then we had Monday. Monday was our dye class. We had a dye class with Felicia Lowe, who, if you don't know who she is the dyer of Sweet Georgia Yarns, which we got to go to her studio, be in her dye space, and take a dye class with her. Amazing. Like, amazing to be able to do that. We were so lucky to get those tickets. Yeah, it was awesome. So we actually took the class. There was 16 of us all together, I believe, and it was a lot of fun. It was 3 hours. It just blew. It was so fast. It felt like we were there for 20 minutes and we were already done. We dyed up. I'll show you the yarns that we dyed. We dyed a gradient set, which I forgot downstairs, so I won't get to show you this time, but it was a purple. Basically, it was a party of, she has a party of 5s, which are her gradient sets. We dyed one of those, but she did a party of 6. So we got 6 skeins from a very soft purple to a very like deep vibrant purple. Absolutely gorgeous. And then we did like an immersion technique, and then we did a pan technique, which was really cool because that's the same way that Tara and I already dye. So it was kind of like a refresher course and validation that we're doing it right. I mean, there's no real wrong way to dye yarn, but we were doing it. We're like, oh, we dye like Felicia Lowe. Oh. So that was really cool. And it was really neat to get just some tips and tricks and just see her space. Realize her space isn't really much bigger than ours. So that's crazy to me. But yeah, it was awesome. We took the class with quite a few others. I met Annie. So she is, if you're not familiar, she has a podcast. It's Knitting It Up. She's from Montreal. And she came all the way to Knit City, and she took the dye class. So I got to meet her, and it was so funny because I was looking at her and she was looking at me, and I'm like, why do I know who you are? And she's like, And then I realized that she had a podcast, and then she realized who I was from my podcast. So it was really fun. So we got pictures, and then, yeah, and then I met Kelly and Kelly. They're good friends. They came from Lethbridge. They were in my dye class, and we got paired into groups of 3. So it was Tara, I, and Kim, and then Kelly and Kelly were at the same stove as us, and they were paired with a girl Her name is Carolina. So hi, Carolina. It was really nice to meet all of you. So much fun. We had such a great time at that dye class, and it was really fun to see everybody's different the takes on the same thing, because we were like, okay, we're going to do this. Everybody could pick a different color, and we were over dyeing, and it just turned out so cool to see everybody's yarn and colors come out. So yeah, that was Knit City in a nutshell. So that was crazy. I'm sorry, I just talked for like 45 minutes straight about Knit City, but yeah, amazing. And I could keep talking about it because that was just as quick as I could. So I'm going to show you some things that I bought. I thought I behaved myself. I only bought 3 skeins of yarn. So I went in with a plan. I said, I am not going to just buy yarn randomly, willy-nilly, because I was going with a carry-on. I had my bag, which was huge, and a carry-on. And I was like, I don't have a heck of a lot of room to bring stuff home. And so sweater quantities were out, and just a lot of yarn I wasn't going to be able to haul home, and I didn't want to have to check a baggage and deal with all that. So I was good. So what we dyed at class, like I said, I forgot the party of 5s downstairs, or party of 6s downstairs, but it's purple gradient. It's beautiful. I'll take pictures of it later. But we did up this one. This is the one we did in a pan. So it is like gray, like a black charcoaly gray, and a hot pink. You can see in there, woo, just a splash of hot pink and some teal. So we did a color for each of us. So Kim really is into neutrals, so she likes gray, so we threw some gray in there. Tara's favorite color is teal, and I love pink. So I think I'm going to recreate this, because obviously Felicia has like her own recipes for her colors, so I have no idea what these colors actually are. But I'm going to play with this, I think, and I'm going to dye up a version of it, and I may call it Party of 3 if we release it, because I think it's a fun nod, because she has the Party of 5, and you know, anyways. And we were 3 dyers, or 3 girls in the dye thing, so yeah. So I'm just tentatively calling this Party of 3. And it was fun. And then the other one we did did a full immersion dye, and then we over dyed it with something else. So we started with a nice beautiful pumpkin orange and over dyed it with like a deep maroon red, and we came up with this fall color. Oh, it's gorgeous. Love it. We wrote our recipe down for this one so that I could remember the quantities, so if I can try in the dye pots downstairs. But yeah, if you guys are interested in a color like this, let us know, because I mean, fall is kind of in full swing right now, but there's a lot of fall colors out there already. So I don't know if this is anything more different, anything unique than any other dyers have already come out with, but I'd be happy to recreate something like this, because I think it's gorgeous. So yeah, no idea what we're calling this. I mean, I can't really call it anything, because like I said, no idea what colors it dyes. We just used her stocks. So that was amazing. It's like Felicia Lowe's stock. She's like, grab any color you want and have fun. Okay, I'll do that. So also, while we were at Sweet Georgia, we made sure to grab her dye book. So we have Dying to Spin and Knit, which is her book, which is awesome because we bought it right there. So we got it signed. It says, Dear Jade and Tara, enjoy all this color, Felicia. So that was awesome. She is just the sweetest person. Seriously, she is so nice. Any questions we had, she was happy to answer. I mean, obviously we could say, what's your recipe for this and how do you do that? But, you know, she wouldn't tell us that way. But, oh, my sweater is like hanging funny. Sorry. But yeah, like any tips and tricks she was willing to share. And so that was cool. The day after Knit City, sorry, I'm just kind of jumping all over the place. We went to Bad Anna's. So I'll get a picture of me standing in front of the Bad Anna sign, because if you're there, you have to do it, apparently. So, yeah, when I was there, I bought some interchangeable cables, which is boring, but that's what I did. And I bought a little stitch marker, which I forgot over there, and pom-pom quarterly. So this one is the spring edition. She had the fall one there too, which was just gorgeous, but I like the patterns in this one better. And this is awesome. I love this pattern. Yeah, there's lots of really good patterns in here. Let's see, I love this one. It's amazing, that shoulder detail. Let's see. I don't know if there's a better picture of it. It's called Izumi. There. So that one's really beautiful. Yeah, so there's a few in here that I'd like to knit. Where's the other ones? Back too far. There's a fly. It's annoying. This sweater is really cool. It's like really quite old-fashioned, it seems, but it's got these really fun details up here at the shoulders. There's some close-up details. Like right there. And I love that. Yeah, here's the, isn't that cute? Love that with the 3 different colors. So yeah, just this awesome book. Really excited about that one. And what else did I get? Oh, I got something else. I'll show it afterwards, but it's not from Knit City. It was something that I was waiting for my last podcast and it didn't arrive yet. So, ooh, so excited. Okay, what have I got in here? I have got inside my, I don't know if I've ever shown this. I've got a pink field bag. I don't know if I ever mentioned that. It was a gift to me from my friend Paula. She's a real sweetie. I knit her a shawl and then, yeah, she sent me some goodies afterwards. And this was one of them. And I love this bag. If any of you don't have a fringe field supply bag and you're wondering what the big deal is, it's seriously awesome. I know they're really, really expensive. So I'm very thankful that Paula sent me this. It was just beyond sweet of her to do that. But yeah, I would, I don't know. I keep saying that. I don't know if I would buy one. I think I would because it's an amazing bag. It's just the perfect everything. I like the way it cinches tight, doesn't open up. It's nice and big. You don't have to worry about getting dirty. So anyways, that Anna's purchase, totally boring. Besides pom-pom, that was fun. And this was the thing for so I Love Handles is the company that makes it, is the wrist ruler. So there was the tin for that. I bought lots of stitch markers because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't really in the mood for buying yarn. I needed small things, so I bought some stitch markers. This was from a lady. She had something called Bali Yarn Tours, and like she goes and takes like tours in Bali, and I can't remember what. Oh shoot, I don't remember. So Cute Buttons, I think, was her booth. But look, licorice all sorts. Aren't they cute? Oh my goodness, so adorable. There we go. So this one's my favorite. Which one here? This one. This yellow one. That one's my actual favorite, licorice all sort. If they're in the bag, that's the one I go for. So I bought those stitch markers, and I bought I bought these stitch markers. Sorry, these are going to be a little bit crinkling. Got these from Gingersnap. Look, it's a stitch marker. He is so cute. So got those, and they got these cute little rings with the little the no snag stitch rings. And then from Flock Fiber Studio, I mean, I was right in the Flock Fiber Studios, guys, and I didn't buy yarn. It's like, I don't know if that was stupid or if I should be proud of myself. I don't know. But anyways, I didn't buy yarn. I bought stitch markers instead. But look how cute this is. It's a little whale. Oh my goodness, he's adorable. I'm hoping that these stitch markers are big enough that I'm going to put them on that, the cowl that I was just showing you guys, because it's cute. And I think it would match, and it would be kind of nerdy, but cute. And yeah, so, okay. I forgot my unicorn. So I'll see if I can get a picture from Carmen. But I have the cutest stitch markers. So I'm going to share those with you guys. So Carmen of Owl and Lily, I'll put her information down below. Her son is 9 years old and his name is Blake. Hi, Blake. And he is so sweet. He, a while back, had made these little perler bead unicorn stitch markers. And oh my goodness, they were the cutest things I've ever seen. And then right before Knit City, like 3 or 4 days before, he came running over to Carmen and he says, I found something else I can make for your friends. And you guys, these are so cute. Blake is seriously the smartest little boy I possibly have ever heard of. Because look at these. They're perler bead yarn balls, or skeins of yarn. So I got a green one and a purple one. Get over here. Why? There's a purple one. And a blue one. Like, look how cute those are. And then I've got a pink one too. Right here. Oh, so cute. And then Carmen was a sweetheart. She gifted me a unicorn as well. So thank you so much, Blake. So if you guys want these, because they're just adorable, who doesn't want them? We bought like 12, 10? I think we got 10. They're super reasonably priced. Message Carmen. I'll put her Instagram name is owl_and_Lily. So he is still taking orders. And he is fundraising. He is fundraising to save the gray foxes, I believe. She was telling me last night. Let me just look up the information. But he's fundraising, and once he reaches his goal, then he's going to splurge and get himself like a Lego set. So I think that's very quite honorable of him that he's going to fundraise first. So I thought you guys might want to support his little endeavor. I think it's so cute. And I mean, they're really cute, and they're mini perler beads. So I mean, like, if you're familiar with perler beads are usually quite big. These things are itsy bitsy. So for the fact that he sits there for who knows how long, putting these little perler bead things together, I wish it would focus. Like, they're so tiny. I'm very impressed with his entrepreneurship. Yeah, that little guy, he's just giving her. So if you were looking for something fun, I would totally recommend giving Owl and Lily a message on Instagram and see if you can get some of those from Blake, because I think that's my favorite purchase from all of Knit City, and not even lying. So cute. I've got a unicorn at home, and I put it on one of my bags, so I just forgot to bring it. But so cute. So my very last purchase of Knit City, not my last, I mean, I've got more things, but like this, I literally bought at 5. Oh, I think they announced that it was closed and I was buying this thing. So this was my very last purchase, the end purchase of Knit City. It is Knitter's Jewelry. That's a darning needle. So I have to hang it on a necklace. So it just hangs on a necklace right here. You just slip it over anything. And then the darning needle itself just looks like a long twisted pendant. But you can pop it off. And let's see. Boy, it's having a hard time focusing today. There we go. So you can see how it just pops off there. And yeah, super cute. So I'll be wearing that soon. I just didn't want to do it before I had a chance to show you guys. So those are my small things. I put them all in a little box so I wouldn't lose them. So those are my fun purchases, my little itsy bitsies. I got myself a travel gleaner because I need to do some major cleaning up of my hand knit. So if you're not familiar with gleaners, they're a really awesome way to depill your sweaters and knit projects. So I've used it. So it's a little bit on the linty side, but anyways, it's just a small compact thing. The only difference between this one and the other one is the other one has a handle and this one doesn't. And it's like $15 cheaper. So I'm like, I'll just go with the cheap one. And that way I don't have to, it's small and I can take it with me. So Gleaner on the go. It's an awesome little purchase. So I think I found everything I was looking for. I wanted a wrist ruler and a gleaner and some special yarn. That was my strategy. Like, any yarn that I buy has to be amazing or that I can't get in person, like at one of my local yarn shops, or, you know, just one that I can't get. So yeah, anything else in here besides my, oh yeah. I also, where I got those little licorice all sorts, I got myself a shawl pin. And it's just kind of fun. It's just like a little like swirly, squirrely metal, whoop, so I can just pop it in. Because sometimes you need a shawl pin. You don't feel like having the ends tangling down or whatever. You don't want to knot it because it makes a lump. So got myself a shawl pin. Anything else? Dum, 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 dum. Checking my bag. Okay, no. Now is for yarn. I did get myself 3 skeins of yarn, and I normally am a bright yarn person, and I didn't get any bright yarn. But I splurged and got myself, look at this. It is silver. I don't even know if that's the name of it. Rainy Day is the colorway. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous silver color yarn. It is 100% spun silk. So you can just imagine how luxurious this feels. It's amazing. It's 1,100 yards. It's lace weight. No idea. I'm going to make myself like a wrap with it. I'm not exactly sure which one yet, but I mean, spun silk. I got it at Jane Stafford Textiles. It was in crazy good price too, so that's why. Like $40 for 1,100 yards of gorgeous silk. Loved it. So, splurge number 1. Number 2, I couldn't leave behind once I felt it because it's amazing. It's 100% baby alpaca. And look at that cream color. Like, it's obviously undyed. It's 100 to 120 grams. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't weighed it, but the tag says 100 to 120. I think it's hand spun, or maybe she has it spun. I'm not sure. But she had 100 alpacas. It's from Prairie Spirit Alpacas. And I don't remember if she's from Alberta or BC. I don't remember now. But anyways, I had a really good chat with her, and I wasn't planning on buying anything in her booth. I didn't want colored alpaca, and that was a lot. And then I spot this in the corner, and I touched it, and you shouldn't touch yarn if you don't want to fall in love with it. But I touched it, and it came home with me. But again, it was an extremely good price, which for baby alpaca, and it's literally the softest thing. It's like a cloud. There's absolutely no scratchiness to it. And I was talking to her because I said, some baby alpaca I found has like those little guard hairs and it's scratchy. And she says, if it's scratchy, they're not doing it right. I don't know if that's true, but anyways, amazing. It's still got some vegetable bits that I'll have to pick out. But like she said, the baby alpacas are a little bit on the jumpy side, and they like to roll around and they like to get dirty. So I'm like, whatever. You can tell that it's from like farm to yarn, and I don't mind the little bits. So, oh my goodness. I don't know what I want to make with this. I think if you have suggestions, she says it's a bulky weight, a bulky to a heavy bulky. So a hat I think wouldn't keep its shape, so I need something around my neck because it's amazingly soft. So I'm guessing about 100, I don't know, maybe 100 yards. Like, I don't know. I don't know how many yards I have. So I just need something to cast on, and I might just make myself like a scarf, and when it's done, I'll button it. Maybe I'll do that. And the only other yarn that I got from Knit City was one from Julie Asselin. She was there. They came all the way from Montreal. And I got her Pheno, which is amazing. So again, this is one I've never touched her yarn in person. Nobody around me carries it, so it's one that I'd have to pay for shipping. And her Pheno, oh my goodness. And this colorway, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's perfect for jeans. Like, I wanted something that I could throw on with anything I was wearing, and this is just like mostly blues. It's got a little bit of reds and pinks and stuff, but not that much. So I could wear this. I'm going to pair it with something from my own like hand-dyed stash. Probably just like I don't think blue, but maybe a touch of navy and maybe some gray or something like that, so I can wear it with jeans and it doesn't look like I'm wearing head to toe blue.
But this color, or this, her pheno, is a 75% merino, 15% cashmere, and 10% silk. So, oh my goodness, like luxury in a skein. And this colorway is called the Joy of Painting. So, yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous. So yeah, normally I'm all about the color. I didn't buy anything with color in the way of yarns. I've got gorgeous silver. I've got gorgeous neutral-ish Julius Lynn, and I have a beautiful natural colored baby alpaca, and I love them all. So yeah, I want to cast on all the things right now, but I don't know what on any of them. So yeah, the silk one though is going to be a bit tricky. I talked to the lady, one of the ladies at the Jane Stafford Textiles booth, and she gave me like a wood, not a wooden, like a cardboard cone that I could put on my ball winder, and she said just tape the end and it just go slow, because yikes, silk on a ball winder sounds like a nightmare. So I just have to be careful. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The only other thing that I got was a bag to carry it all home in. And I had to get this because it made me laugh out loud. And if something makes you laugh out loud, then you get it. So it's this bag. Look at him. I love him. He just makes me laugh every time I see him. Oh, I can't even show you guys. Anyways, it says, alpaca my bag. Oop. It's a huge bag too. Like, look at the size of this thing. It's a wet, dry bag. But anyways, so cute. But look at the side. That's the front. I mean, really, how can you say no to an alpaca butt bag? Really, you can't. So he came home with me because he's just his little buck teeth and his little bum. I mean, really, ridiculous. So, and I love this bag. It's huge, and it's like I said, it's a wet dry bag, so it's lined so that you can throw like your swimwear and whatnot. So I'm going to use this bag a ton. So yeah, that was it. That was my haul from Knit City. It wasn't a ton. I definitely behaved myself. I still spent probably a good chunk of money because, well, there was a few splurges in there, let's say, but you know, you only go to Knit City once a year, so I have been very good, and I have hardly bought myself anything in preparation for this. So I said, so be it. And a lot of it is stitch markers and stuff like that. So I was very behaved. So pat on my shoulders. But yeah, one other purchase I have, I've been waiting for it when I did my last podcast, and it hadn't arrived. And of course it arrived the next day, because as it does. But I had splurged on Peggy Jane fibers. I've talked about her before. She has these gorgeous, gorgeous yarns. Oh my goodness, gorgeous yarns. And I don't remember how to get these all together, so she had a really beautiful picture, and I'm ruining it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Peggy Jane. That's not your name. That's her business name. Her actual name is, oh dear, Peggy Jane. Wow. You know what? I'm ridiculous. It's been a while since I podcasted. I'm going to remember her name as soon as I turn this podcast off. Let me just look it up, because that's ridiculous that I've forgotten. I'm so sorry. Oh, I shouldn't do this on a day where I'm in a rush. Let's look her up. Peggy Jane fibers. Kelly. I was going for I was like, Margaret's not right. It's Kelly Margaret. That's why. Anyways, Kelly of Peggy Jane Fibers had this beautiful gradient set for a Find Your Fade, or the What the Fade. And I have no real interest in doing a What the Fade, but I couldn't resist this palette. I'm going to split it up into like 2 groups or 3 groups. I don't even know how to do this. Anyways, you guys, I'm just going to show you one at a time, and then I'll post a picture in. Okay, so she has this one. It's called Reflection. Look at those speckles. This is Dirty Orchid. This one's my favorite. Oh my goodness. Smudgy. that. So beautiful. This one I also love. I already own a skein of this, so now I have two. Oh darn. This one is called Farewell. Now I've talked about this one before. I have this one. I've purchased it previously. It's called Farewell. It was a memorial yarn kind of thing. Her mother passed away from Alzheimer's, and there was a beautiful bouquet of flowers at her funeral, and that yarn was based on that bouquet. So it's a little bit of a heartstring yarn, but it's beautiful. So there was that one, Dirty Teal, which is just stunning. Oh my goodness. And this other one is Flurry. So all together, let me see if I can find the picture of them all together, and then I'll line them up for you how she had them, intended them for the fade. But Peggy Jane Fibers. Maybe I'll just show you like this. Look at those. So she's got this one. So Reflection, then Farewell. Then it looks like she has Flurry, Dirty Teal, Smudgy, and Dirty Orchid. So this was her order. It's like gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is very hard. Oh my goodness, you guys. I shouldn't be podcasting. I'm such a loser. It's like I can't even do this right now. This is ridiculous. Okay, anyways, these yarns all together. Look at how beautiful they are. Stunning. She is like the queen of speckles. I don't even know how she does it. I try speckles and they look terrible. She does speckles and they're amazing. But anyways, I have no idea what this is going to be. I just bought it because I had to. I have never splurged on that much yarn at once in my entire life. But I was like, you know what? Done. So thank you very much, Kelly. So sorry that I muddled your name up and I was so dumb, but you know, oh well, I'm out of practice. It's been 2 months. So anyways, I'm going to sign off. It's been like an hour and 20 minutes and I'm going to try to shave some of this out. I apologize again for it being 2 months since my last one. I certainly didn't mean for it to be, but the end of summer was really crazy. And then we basically hit the ground running because once school was out, we were able to really get dyeing and stuff like that, which we had a wholesale order to go out. And then we knew we were going to Knit City and we had a show. Oh, I forgot to talk about our show. I'll talk about that real quick. But anyways, we had a show right on the tails of Knit City. Like we came home from Knit City on Tuesday. Our show was on Friday. So we knew we had to dye all the way up. So we pulled the last skeins of yarn out of the water to dry or to rinse at like 11 o'clock at night, and we were flying out, like we were leaving at 8 in the morning. So we died to the very last minute. So I didn't really have any time to podcast, unfortunately. So again, sorry about that. I'll try not to let it be 2 months again. But anyways, okay, we're just gonna real quick recap because I'm running out of time here. It's 3:05 and my kids come home in like 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm really out of time. But anyways, Tara and I had, for Midnight Cravings, we had our very first show. It wasn't a fiber show. It was called the Curated Handmade Market. If you're in Alberta, I would highly recommend going to one of these shows. She has 3 of them a year in Edmonton and 3 a year in Calgary. This was the very first time she brought the show to Saskatoon. And for being a first time show in a new city, we kind of figured we were going to have small crowds. I didn't really know what to expect. It's a maker's market, so anybody who makes anything could attend. She limited it to 100 booths. It was juried, so we had to apply in the spring, I think. We applied in the spring, and then you wait on pins and needles for like a month while she goes through everybody's Etsy shops and or online shops or however to determine whether or not you're going to be a good fit for the market. Sorry, I'm really thirsty. So anyways, back in the spring, we applied. She messaged us back about a month later and said that we were in, and we did a happy dance. But yeah, we had no idea what to expect because we'd never done a show before with the Midnight Cravings. And yeah, how do you gauge that? We're in Saskatoon, or we're just outside of Saskatoon. So the show was there. But because it's like a maker's market and, there's baby things there and there's jewelry and there's woodworking and baking and, quilting and all these beautiful things. We're like, who's going to come and expect to see yarn? And Saskatoon, we don't know if there's a big knitting crowd there. Like, we just don't know our local area that much for there's absolutely zero fiber markets in Saskatoon or in Saskatchewan. Like, Edmonton's got the Edmonton Fiber Frolic, and they've got the Shindig, and they've got a few fiber markets. There's nothing like that here in Saskatchewan at all. So we have no way of knowing how many people in Saskatchewan are knitters or crocheters, or, how well our yarn was going to do. So we just decided we were going to dye our hearts out and just see. And so we did, and we dyed for weeks prepping. I mean, we had our shop open too. So, I mean, we had the turnover, so it wasn't like we just, so yeah, so we went kind of like, what, first show, it's going to be really quiet. We probably won't do that well, but we won't judge the show because, we'll give it a second chance if it doesn't do well, because the first market's always going to be quiet. Holy smokes, you guys. It was so busy. Not just our booth, but like the whole market, the whole show. Before, like, the show was Friday night and Saturday. Friday night there was a lineup outside the door. I'm like, for a show that's never been in Saskatoon before, that's amazing. Over almost 1,000 people came through that night. So insane. And our booth was quite busy. It was quite funny because, like, we had regulars, we had people who knew that we were going to be there and were coming specifically, but you'd see people walk by and just stop dead. They're like, yarn. You can immediately tell who was the knitters and who were crocheters and everything, because it was just, yeah, a couple people squealed that there was yarn there because they weren't expecting it. One husband was like poking his wife, like poking, and I said, okay, what's the story behind the poking? And he said that they have a good friend that's a knitter, and they were wanting to buy her a gift of some sort at this market. And he says, oh, maybe there'll be somebody there selling yarn. And his wife says, there's nobody going to be there selling yarn. Like, don't be stupid, kind of thing. And so he was like rubbing it, and he's like, look, there's yarn. So that was pretty funny. And I think one of the highlights was a lady came in, she grabbed a skein of yarn off the wall, one of our new colors called Pocket Change. She doesn't knit. She has no idea how to knit. She doesn't crochet. She doesn't do anything like that. She bought it anyways because she loved it so much, and she said she's going to learn to knit so she can use our yarn. So that was amazing, like absolutely amazing. We were so blown away by the response that we got in Saskatoon. It was so good, beyond what we could even hope for. Just such a good response. There was lots of people who stopped by. They knew knitters, so they were getting our cards so they could pass it on. They were standing right in there looking us up so they could follow us on Instagram. We had some regulars come back because we did a pop-up a few weeks ago, and so they were coming back to get some more yarn and stuff like that. So that was really cool. So our goal for 2018 is to get into a yarn market, probably in Alberta. So we're hoping eventually that we'll be able to travel and do an actual like fiber fest, because there isn't one in Saskatchewan. But yeah, that was fun. It was so much fun. It was crazy. It was busy. It was hard setting up, but it was so worth it. It was worth late nights. It was worth our days. It was amazing. So if you are one of the ones who stopped at our booth in Saskatoon, thank you so much, because it really, really means a lot to Tara and I that we have you guys. So anyways, that's it for me this week. I'm sorry I rambled. It's been like an hour and a half. Sorry. But yeah, hopefully I'll be back in the next, I'm going to shoot for once a month. I would have liked to do every 2 weeks, but it's a lot. So I'm gonna shoot for once a month. And if they're sooner than that, then yay. But if not, there you go. So anyways, yeah, feel free to follow us. Like I said, I'm Little Prairie Pearl or Midnight Cravings on Instagram, Creations on a Whim at Etsy. Nope, that's a lie. Ravelry. And Etsy is littleprairiepearl.etsy.com or midnightcravings.etsy.com. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.